Hello, you're welcome back. In our previous lesson, we looked at how to define variables in PHP. In this lesson, we're going to look at predefined variables, also known as superglobals. So, we're going to take a look at some important superglobals we have in PHP. So, what are these important superglobals that we have in PHP? Number one, we have we'll call the globals. We have the server. We have the get. We have the posts. We have the files. We have requests. We have session. We have env. We have cookie. We have http response header, etc. So I'm going to go over each of them one after the other and defining them. So the superglobals contains built-in variables that are always available in all scope, like I said. Now the globals variable tell us about variables that are available in all scope. So let's var dump what is inside these globals variables. So I have an array containing get, post, etc. And let me define a global variable, say user equal to John Doe, for example. Then you can see that user variable, it appears here. Okay, so that's the use of the global variable. If you also have like a parameter such as a get array of the get variables, there's an array of all the variables within the get superglobal. It will also show here. Okay, so it gives you access to all the global variables. Now the next one is the server variable. So as always, let's say var dump $_server. So what is within the server variable? This is a lot. So we're going to take a look at each of them one after the other. So here I'm going to access each item in the server variable one after the other. I'm going to say echo $_server, then the array key. First item in this server variable, what I want to access is what is known as the remote addr, which gives me the IP address of the IP address of the user, of the user's device. Then we also have an important one known as the server addr, which gives me the IP address of the server. Then we also have an important server variable which is known as the request method. The request method I'm using here is get. That's essentially the method that is being used when you click at a link or you visit a web page directly from your browser. Then we also have what is called the query string. query string, okay, which gives you access to the query string, that is the part of the URL after the question mark is called the query string. So if I add another item in this query string, gender, let's say female, you'll see it will appear in the query string. So the query string is giving me this part of the URL, which is known as the query string. Then also we have an important variable known as script file name, which will give me the absolute part of the current executing script. This gives me the absolute part of the current executing script. We also have what's called the script name. The script name will give me the part. It contains the current script part. So this is useful to be used instead of PHP self. PHP self is considered not safe, so it's better to use script name. PHP, let's say PHP self, it will return the same result as the script name, but it is generally recommended to use script name instead of PHP self for security reasons. Okay, there are times when you need to submit a form to the current script so that the current script will execute that same form contained in that page. So you use the server script name to access the current script. They also have what's called the request URI. This will give us access to the full address, that is the URL of the page that we are accessing, which is this. Okay, now there are so many other informations here, but you can see them in the official PHP documentation. So in our next lesson, we're going to take a look at the get and the post superglobals. Thank you. See you in the next lesson.